Hello my dear Taurus, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between April 1st and April 15, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I have put the astrological information for the month of April in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se, where you can also find and buy all the decks I'm using in this video. There is a subscription service up on my webpage that you can take part of if you want to learn more about spiritual growth, yoga and tarot. So I use the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquise and illustrated by Scott Murphy. Now we'll start shuffling your cards. So when I open your deck here, Taurus, I see Justice and Ten of Swords. So it seems rather serious, okay? Something can't go on in the way that it has done before. Justice needs to prevail. So the old way of functioning is kind of gone, and you might be forced or are free willingly walking through a door to your next level of existence. It might be talking about you getting either a lot of authority or you need to bend to forces of authority. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I call the divine with love and light, and here we have Magician together with the Ten of Swords. So it's something with your way of communicating probably, or creating things in your life that's coming to a big change. Something is going to have to, yes, I'm thinking it's some certain form of humbleness, or some certain form of how you're following other laws than the universal laws. You're following human laws instead of universal laws, which are making you to not that great, the kind of creator that you could be on earth, okay? So, and the broken pillars and the swords in the back is talking about something like the backbone being broken, the old backbone, and the old tower is also gone. So there's a new start for you as well. So I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we have the Hierophant and the Ten of Swords. So it's something with your deeper values, family values, friendship values, work values, how you are functioning in society. That needs to change rapidly, and then accordingly probably with more of your like the sides to you that you didn't feel fitted into the bigger picture, or that you have denied yourself because someone told you that these parts of you were wrong. So I call the 6 elements: Earth, 7 of Swords and 9 of Wands. Okay. So you feel very pushed and pressed, I would say, and you're feeling like you're doing something wrong probably, and you don't feel entitled to do what it is that you're doing now. So either you are doing things wrong, or you are not trusting yourself, either or. And if you don't trust yourself, you probably don't trust others to have the best intention either. So 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit. We have 2 of Wands and the Lovers together with the Chariot. So a 2 of Wands is you're trying to hold back, you're trying to it might be that you're trying to put up boundaries, and it's going to make you reach a higher form of love, but it might also be that you're trying to hold away some kind of higher form of love. Okay. Yeah, it's a King of Cups, and here underneath it's the 9 of Swords. Usually King of Cups can be very tormented with pain, and 3 of Wands together with the High Priestess is very it's you standing up for yourself. So it will probably be the solution to becoming healed. Also, the people that's really mean, they don't really love themselves. That's why they are really mean. If they would love themselves, they wouldn't be mean anymore. So this works for everyone. Okay, 2 of Wands. you might not want to have your blood spilled anymore. It's like you have been the sacrifice lamb and you're not tolerating it anymore. It's not going to happen. So it's something, sometimes rage or anger is like, it's a higher vibration than victim mentality, for example. So you might have stepped into some higher energy that involves you not taking any crap anymore. So that's good. Okay, now it seems like this pile is satisfied. I didn't have time to say the usual things, but I still wish you to have love in your life and creative success and walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So I will just tune you in for a few seconds here to your reading. So, my dear Taurus, this is your future there, and this is your now, and this is the past. And here you have the Ten of Wands, kind of in the same position that it came for Aquarius. So, Ten of Wands is when we're holding things back, or when we are really trying to, like, really hard to achieve something. Maybe train before a big marathon, or really perform in a high way. But it can also be the other, like we are trying very hard to control ourselves, and a little bit what we saw with the Two of Wands that also came. So you might have a lot of things that you would like to say, but you're not saying it. You're trying to be a good boy or a good girl and do what's expected out of you. And that was in the past. And this is in the now, so it's the first half of April 2018, and here we see the Ten of Swords. So Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords, we have a firestorm here, because wands are fire and this is air, and it's like in a big magnitude. And King of Wands, okay, Magician, Creator. Okay, so we'll see what is going here, but I'm thinking you are getting to the limits of something. The old world you have seen, it's kind of dying and withering away, and it's probably a very positive thing. So go with whatever comes here, because I think that it will have gifts of creation to you if you just go with this instead of what you did before that was probably not aligned with your highest self. So it's some higher energy with you that wants to come through, and it can't if you are acting like a very small person and thinking that you need to make yourself small and humble and insignificant and not taking any place and not having a loud voice, or yes, okay. And this is the future, so second half of April, and here we have the King of Cups and Death. So both of these are Scorpio. We also have the World card there. So and the Eight of Cups, I think you are being drained. 17, 1 plus 7 is 8, so it's kind of the star and the strength connected. You have been drained, you have let other people ride on your strength, but it's time to, this is the Major Arcana Death, and here is Minor Arcana Death. And so on many levels, you need to go through a door, and that's going to take you to another side of your existence where you can be much more transformational. The King of Cups is always transforming pain into new things. Like you get pain, you get the pain from a situation, you have been through something, it was horrific, you take the pain, you give pain attention, you melt the pain, digest the pain, knowledge will come out of it, the knowledge will bring you into the new future. So it's like bird phoenix rising from the ashes. King of Cups, Scorpio, is like snakes combined with an eagle, and Scorpio, I guess, in between. Bird phoenix is working in your life together with death. First death and then a little bit resurrection. So whatever has been going on for you, like how you have been treating your relationship, is not going to work for you anymore. Not how you have treated your talent either, because you are supposed to be a creator, and I'm thinking you have been trying to take lesser room in like every kind of circumstance than you really should take, okay? Here we have the Lovers. So Lovers is Gemini, but we also see this rainbow bridge. So it's some kind of beautiful connection. So you have done this journey together with someone that probably is very close to you on a soul level. Here on Earth, they might not be that close to you. They might have been very close to you, but something has obviously happened. So it's usually like this, that from the worst kind of relationships we learn, we get the greatest gifts, even if it's taking a toll on us and might make us feel like this other person is very problematic. Yes, Seven of Cups, they are problematic. They are making you feel like nauseous and not having any energy and feeling like you're back to being 3 years old and not knowing what's the right or the wrong thing to do. So always having like authority over you that's always are right and you are always wrong. So you might have felt very helpless in a certain type of relationship, and you have tried and tried many different things to make them work. So that's good. 7 are challenges, so you have jumped to a challenge here, and out came the Ace of Cups. So I'm guessing this is self-love. That was what survived this relationship, this holy relationship that was probably predestined. What survived was deep self-love, like connection to the source. And it kind of it's like when you are sitting with a river and you are going to search for gold. You take a lot of gravel and you do like this with water and gravel, and then some small gold pieces of gold might be shown there, and this is what you found. So you have gone through some like kind of a similar process. Here we have a 5 of Swords, so you're kind of fighting for your heart the right to be loving yourself. So you're putting up a little bit of a fight here, and both in the Ace of Cups and in the 5 of Swords we have steep mountains. So it's not an easy challenge, this what we are seeing, but it seems to be bright daylight. So I'm thinking you're knowing exactly, or you knew exactly what you were supposed to do. Some of you will be watching this in Mars, so it might be still an energy that's roaming. I'm doing this reading, it's the Mars 19. So for some of you this will be going on now, and for others it will be the past. And here's the Page of Cups. So we have the Ace and kind of the pure water on both sides here. This is the connection to the divine, and this is the antenna making the connection. So the antenna and the umbilical cord being plugged into the divine source, and it made you go to war. And so you have done something that you didn't do before. Before you were trying to hold yourself back for the sake of the love that you felt for this person, but it was making you feel like not so good. It was like a repetitive pattern where you were thrown back to the same primordial swamp of despair over and over and over again, until you kind of fought for your own, you stood up for yourself, and you might have you deliberately hurt someone. You knew that you hurt someone, but you didn't care anymore, because you were putting an end to your own misery and aligning with your heart. So that was probably exactly what you were supposed to do. I think the divine has waited for quite some time, and with the 10s it kind of shows that you have probably graduated, or at least you got the lesson. Like now you know. Maybe you will have to practice several times. So the divine says that love is still there, so you don't have to be bitter on a person. You can keep your boundaries up, but you don't have to hate them or be bitter or feel like they were a stupid person. They felt like a stupid person for you, but they were there for a reason, doing what they did for a reason. Maybe they really sacrificed, went down in a body that have a great ancestral karma, and maybe not that didn't have that capacity for high awareness or consciousness, and they went down in this body just to give you this lesson. So sometimes we are doing this. Also, animals can be doing this for human beings or for each other, to just go down for this kind of missions. Be like the adversary for other people so that they can learn. So it seems like love is always present, always in this situation. And it's another 10. So now you have 10, 10, 10. So it's a real graduation. And here we have the Knight of Wands. So Knight of Wands is kind of a spiritual warrior, like riding with dragons. In this case, he's riding with the eagle of the Scorpio. So you went from this primordial swamp and you took the lesson out of it, and you were able to fly from there. For some of you, you might be dealing also with a Sagittarius person. Maybe they were showing you something with this, what I told you, that they went down to show you this. So don't hold any grudges, but also don't lower your boundaries. If you finally were able to protect yourself, don't go back just because you feel love towards this person. Here you have Knight of Wands and Knight of Cups. So it seems like a lovely separation, okay? People are riding in their different... it doesn't have to be, this is usually Sagittarius, this is usually Pisces. It might be any fire or water person, but it might be two aspects of you. This might be the other person, this might be you, or this might be you and this is the other person. So you need to apply this to your own life. It's just general energy, like how the planets are moving over you, and it will affect all of you a little bit differently. But here we can see it's like a loving separation. I feel no grudges here. It's like it's time to drift apart. It's time to go apart. They are not seeing eye to eye, and they are actually not seeing so much at all. So it's some things that you have forgotten, but it's the kind of the terms of this lifetime here. We can't remember. If we would remember that, oh, this person was supposed to come down and play my enemy, it's not going to really work. So we will need to have a little bit limited awareness. In other case, we have the answer to the question, so we don't need to have the challenge at all. Why we're having the challenge is because we need it. From a soul perspective, we have decided that we needed it. I'm thinking this is you riding high here with your self-love and now accepting the holy grail of your own soul. Being more trusting towards yourself and your own insights and emotions. So putting one eye in the wisdom wells and celebrating it, taking it seriously, no longer questioning yourself endlessly and thinking, am I right to do this? Should I say this? Should I say that? Should I do this? Should I do that? You don't care anymore. You're more like the fool. You do whatever feels right for the moment because you have freed yourself, and you probably feel a lot of relief with this self-love. It has given you a certain amount of freedom, so you're not tied anymore to people that's maybe manipulating or deceiving or vicious in some way. But remember that they were this, but only for you to help you to come to this self-love by triggering you until you finally stood up for yourself. So it's fine for you to now fall down the cliff. You are not afraid to do the things that you were afraid to do before. You have got another kind of courage. You don't mind what happens. So it's a beautiful freedom that we see. And here we have a Knight of Pentacles. So it seems like you have your little heart here. And this is Knight of Pentacles is very good on protection, having boundaries and creating like a beautiful feng shui garden where the Page of Cups can live and thrive. So I'm thinking you have this valuable, beautiful inside of yours, and now you have put like a boundary around it, so you're protecting yourself, and that's making you rich. You're not wasting your energy to left and right. You are saving it like half for yourself, half for other people. So we need energy just to survive, and you don't have to exhaust yourself for others all the time. It's not helping anyone. It's just making other people helpless if you're helping them too much or pampering them too much, or not making them see their own problems. For example, if someone is being like a little bit stingy in their conversation, before you might have always worked around that, but now I think you would say it to them that that was a little bit of a stingy comment. So the old is dead. You're not doing those things anymore. You have changed, and it seems very luscious actually for both of you. When you are not, if you are codependent to a person that has a little bit predatory qualities, you're actually not helping them. You are just feeding their greed. And if you don't feed their greed anymore, they will actually also have a chance of becoming much more aware and conscious. So both parties here are maturing, and it might be that these two sides also, where one person still loves and the other one now are more focused on loving themselves, while this person sees that they have met the love of their life, the other person now sees that they love themselves equally much, so they are not going to pay a ransom to be in this relationship anymore. And here we have a Queen of Cups. So Queen of Cups is Cancer, and usually Cancer can be Scorpio or Pisces as well, or a person being very empathic and emotional and loving. And I'm thinking you are dealing with a person that has a great love for you, but it might be that they have a great love for you, but they are attached to you in a little bit of an unhealthy way. So this person can also be like a codependent and have been hanging on to you for some reason. So it seems very beautiful anyway here with the two rainbows and the waterfall. So I'm thinking healing have happened. So even if you have a little bit like bad consciousness about something, you don't have to. Even if you split ways, I'm thinking healing has happened here. So that's very beautiful. And it might be a person have been left to their own dramatic feelings, and when they are left to their own dramatic feelings, they become strong enough to handle them, and they become much more powerful than what they would have been if you continue pamper them. So if you have a person in your surrounding always having panic attacks, you always need to help them doing grocery shoppings and other things, and then one day you say, no, now you need to train on this, going and shopping. So now this day you are going with me. And this person says, no, I don't want to. And then you say, well, then you will be out of groceries. So call me when you want to follow me going shopping for you. Okay, so it can be like this or similar things to this. It's just an example of on the top of my head. So we're not helping people by letting them be helpless. So this is what I'm feeling here, that your freedom or the other person's freedom is helping you're helping each other's freedom by becoming more you. And here we have the beautiful Empress. So Empress is usually Taurus. King of Pentacles can also be Taurus. It's usually Capricorn, might be also Virgo. But it's of course talking about you and this self-love again. But you're also having this love towards other people. So I'm thinking there's actually no bitterness here. I think you see this, that you were both there to help each other to get some kind of realization, and the bound is still there, the bridge is still there, even if you have parted ways, as it seems. So the bridge is still there, and here you're actually kind of together again, like on the same page. So this might be happening too, that there will be a parting for a while maybe this person needs to mature in their very, like, it's a little bit like it's 10 and it's the Lovers and the Queen of Cups, so it's a lot of emotions. So a person can be very, very sensitive and oversensitive. But maybe if you can be more equal, so no one is kind of the mommy to the other person, both are grown-ups, then you have a much better chance to save the relationship if both people are being grown-ups, like we see here. I think the Empress comes with you telling you that you might have been mothering someone too much because you wanted to be good, and you wanted to have a good consciousness, and you didn't want to feel bad about things. So it's typical like a mother energy, and it's a cow there, so it's Taurus. Okay, so and here we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is the other energy with you, that you are now much more, you don't need other people to approve of you, because you love yourself. You have found the Holy Grail, and it was inside of you all the time. It was in your Feng Shui garden there. Okay, in this garden you had this all along. So you just needed to come home to yourself, and there it was. So the whole journey around the world to find people that could approve of you were actually not unnecessary. It gave you a lot of experience, but and when you came home, you found what you were looking for. So when you came home to yourself, you found what you were looking for. And I'm thinking this is also the doorway to this beautiful garden of yours. And with the boundaries, because you now live in the protection of the King of Pentacles, and this is the Holy Grail, this little child there, or what it is, in the well. So everything is in beautiful organization. You come home to yourself, Taurus, and that is freedom. And here we have a Nine of Cups. So you have both the female hermit cards, earth and water, very fertile. You can now start to use the energy to create your own life, instead of being codependent and mothering other people to a very high degree. So it's time to start dreaming about what it is that you want now with this new beginning here. Start to envision, start to... You have a lot of energy now, so you can use it to something fertile. And here you have a Queen of Swords. So I'm thinking in the future you won't be particularly obedient, okay? You have the child, the witch, and the warrior all in combined here. The child is in the garden. The King of Pentacles is having like the boundary around the garden, being able to take a siege if necessary. And Queen of Swords here seems to be a little bit more the warrior. So it's fine. Queen of Swords is usually the one that interprets the signals from the antenna, your inner child that has the intuition. And the King of Pentacles is the one that holds like everything together, being the outer shell of the turtle, so to speak. But it seems like Queen of Swords here, your own words or your own authority, like how you can speak to people, and your own logic might be a really good defense also. And not only a defense, but also guiding people in a better way. If you can start to say things as you really mean them, without being rude or undiplomatic or non-loving. For example, if you see that the person has a big shadow, you can start to tell them in a very beautiful way, that not making them feel like worthless, but making them feel like, oh, I could gain so much if I were to find myself. And here we can also see that there's a great love here, and the king and the queen is side by side. So as I said, a relationship has played out a certain part in your life to show you where you had a shadow, and there's no saying that this is anywhere over. It seems very fertile. It seems like you might even belong to the same soul group. I don't see the Emperor anywhere, but the King and Queen of Hearts. So don't, just because you can't be with a person, you don't have to hate them. You can lovingly let them go like you did here, and lovingly reconnect whenever the time is needed for that too. But in that case, if you do reconnect, you need to not be such a big mother anymore. You need to, even if you're a male, you can be very mothering, like taking care of people, always like all their aches and pains and worries and problems. And we always need to be able to help people like this, but also if they can help us like this. So it's a an even relationship. It can't always be like this. If we are taking care of children, for example, I have children here, then you need to be the grown-up. Also, when your own parents, for example, go into childhood again, you need to be the grown-up. But when you have friends and lovers, you need to be able to be kind of the same. The C's and other things can, of course, change the dynamics, but we should always strive towards balance. And it seems like this self-love, always finding a home inside yourself and not searching for it on the outside, and kind of you want people to look at you in a certain way, and therefore you are sacrificing parts of you. And here I don't think you care that much about how you look anymore. You are what you are, so take it or leave it. It's kind of this. So it's very easy reading for you. So I will see if I can find some other message, since it went so quickly. It can be a lot with messages and forgiveness as well, like maybe reconciliation, but also like getting a closure maybe. And this seems like a very creative group. This feels like a very creative group that could do some real good together, like they could really create some beautiful things together. And it's Scorpio, Cancer, Taurus. It might be water signs, but it might be like friends and family, or this is a lovers couples, and this might be the same lovers couples, but just in different variation, showing your different ways of communicating with each other and kind of working together with each other. But it seems very harmonious. If you just align with yourself and self-love and not be so scared about outside judgment anymore, you will be fine. Okay, more than fine is what I'm seeing. Okay, my dear Taurus, so I'm going to take... we have round and round, so something might come back around. See if we have, it's something else that wants to round and round. And observer. Okay, so I'll read these cards for you. 25 and 49. Okay. The spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated, cycles you are challenged to break, revisiting patterns from a new perspective. The appearance of this card is a reminder that although it may appear that you've gone backward, the truth is that you are standing at a higher level, looking down into your circumstances. You will learn something, do something better, and break a cycle set up in the past. You actually have a bird's eye view of your initial footprints and can access the wisdom and lessons learned. So it seems much what I saw with all the tens, like you have finished a round, and now you don't have to do that anymore because you are now a grown-up and you require other people to be grown-ups too. So you don't have to baby them. 49, the observer. Perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. So this might be what you're doing with this other person, like loving each other from a distance, or having respect for each other on a distance, or maybe for some of you, you will be a little bit bitter, but it's fine. Forgiveness will come as it seems. Most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experience, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. So, yes, that might be why you part here, because you need some distance from each other to see something in a more clear perspective. but it seems like everyone is a big happy family. It's just that you need to remember to stand very like in your being your own self, and knowing where you ends and another person begins. And so this is kind of what I see that you need to focus on. But this situation isn't sacrifice, it isn't gone. It's just like you're resting, or you need some distance so you can become more a little bit more selfish, like become a little bit more taking your own decision, what's good for you, and taking care of your needs. And so, and it might be another person that needs this kind of vacation from you as well. It depends. You need to see it from your own perspective. And we have safe to fall. It has come for a lot of people, and we have the Fool here. So it seems like there will be a beautiful ending to whatever fall you take. If you do things that you were not able to do before because you thought it would have some bad consequences, now you won't fear those consequences anymore, and it will actually be, you will be better off for it. So, just like the air that fills your lungs, my grace is invisible and yet brings you life. Fear of falling may prevent you from truly surrendering into my care. Yet if you were to realize that it is safe to fall, that my grace will catch you as you step beyond the edge of what you have known, so much would be possible for you. I urge you to believe in what is calling you to take a leap of faith. I tell you now, my wild, sweet beloved, the call is from me, urging you to open up to a bigger world. Trust me and relinquish logic and control. I will not fail you. Sometimes we try to hold on even when it would be better to let go, and sometimes what we hold on to is actually the very thing holding us back. If we let our fears become stronger than our trust, we will underestimate ourselves and the divine. Modern culture tends to generate suffocating fear. We can subtly become programmed to believe and act as though the world is unsafe to explore. With such an attitude, we begin to contract, to defend, to close off from that which would make us uncomfortable, but also from what would help us learn and grow and become alive and live up to our divine destiny. The other choice available to us is to open our minds to the prospect of unconditional trust, as we feel safe and willing to move beyond the world we have known. Then great growth will take place within you, and your life will change. You are not meant to be stayed conventional and know exactly what will happen every day for the rest of your life. You are meant to be alive, messy at times, allowing circumstances to unfold accordingly to a higher plan rather than to your own beliefs. You were born to challenge and question what you believe in again and again. You are one of those souls that was born to actively participate in the great plan of love and life. You are not meant to be watching the waves from the shore. You are meant to be out in the ocean surfing them. You have in you to be a wonderful surfer. If you now and then get dumped by a wave with sand in your hair and salt up to your nose, you will be fine. You just paddle on out to the sea and try again, getting stronger, more profound and more graceful, and having more fun as you master the process each and every time. Yes, I think that you need to have a much more fun and always be able to come back and resting in yourself. That also this feeling that everything is fine, that you don't mind whatever happens. You can take whatever happens. Just bring it on. You will be able to take it. So, my beautiful Taurus, I hope this helped. I want you to take really, really good care, and I invite you back to my mid-April reading that I will be doing in the beginning of April. Okay, bye-bye.